Hey y'all, it's Megan. If you are returning to my channel, welcome back, and if you're new, welcome aboard. So I figured that we haven't done a story time in like a hot minute, so let's do a story time today. So today I'm going to be talking about some of my experiences with some Disney After Dark don'ts. Some things that you really shouldn't do if you're at the park close to park close. So both of these are coming from my experience working at the Jungle Cruise, so they're going to be kind of Jungle Cruise specific, but one of them is don't get a fast pass for late in the day. And that is definitely Jungle Cruise specific because there are some attractions, you know, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, Space Mountain, any of the mountains really, things like that, they're popular all throughout the day. But the Jungle Cruise, I have mentioned before, once the sun goes down, so does the line. Not as many people go after dark. So I say don't get a fast pass for later in the day, because if you want to ride the Jungle Cruise at night, just get on, you know, get in the standby line and you'll be able to get on it very, very quickly. There's no reason to use that particular space within your fast pass booking to use it on the Jungle Cruise. There's no reason for it. So save that for something a little bit more exciting. So this particular night, I was at Grouper Merge. Most of my stories, I was at Grouper Merge. So I was standing there, and in the daytime when there is a fast pass line and a standby line and they converge, Grouper Merge is the position where you take a certain number of fast pass people and a certain number of standby people, and you specify which of two lines that they go into so that they can be easily loaded onto the boat. I was standing there and there was nobody in the fast pass line at all because it was very close to park close, like 9 at night. So I'm standing there basically just blocking the entire fast pass line with my body because there was nobody coming. And the standby people, you know, the few that were coming through, I was like, hey guys, 2 of you, stay to the right for me. How many you got there? 6. Stay over here to the left. And the loaders would be loading them onto the boat. The boat is kind of hanging out there for a little while because we have fewer boats on the river. One day I'll go into, I guess, the specifics of how the Jungle Cruise operates, you know, the timing and how we would space things and time things. If that's something you're interested in, let me know. And there was a family who had obviously gotten a fast pass, and this was back in the days of paper fast passes. Grouper would take those paper fast passes. They used a fast pass at 9 at night for the Jungle Cruise, and they walked up, and I had for some reason, a very large party that was coming through. It was a group of like 9 or 10. So I'm like, okay guys, like you stay to the left for me here. So they needed to cross in front of me, which means that even if this family right here had just like walked through, they still would have been like running into people. So like they still had to stop no matter what, because there were people like actively, a group moving, and they were not crawling. So it was not going to take very long. But this woman starts, you know, the official Karen tap on my shoulder, and I'm like, hi, what's up? And she goes, excuse me, I need you to move. And I was like, oh, you do? I said, well, hang on just a second, let me get these people out of the way. She goes, no, they need to stop. They're supposed to have a 20-minute wait. That's what it says outside. I have a fast pass, and I would like to get onto the boat right now. And in my mind, I'm thinking, the boat's not leaving without you. Whether you get on at this exact second or in 12 seconds when this family finishes walking in front of you isn't going to change anything. But what I said, because we're at Disney, was, oh, okay, just a second. The last person walks in and said, absolutely, come right this way. I'll take those fast passes for you. Now why? A, why is she using a fast pass when she sees that there's no line? It was not 20 minutes. That was just basically as low as the wait time would go. 2, why are you going to try to like break up what is clearly one family unit that is getting on? Like, they'll be out of the way in just a second. Like, there's no need to say, stop, allow the queen to come through, which is kind of, in my mind, how it seemed like she wanted it to go. So just, you know, don't get a fast pass at night, and if you do, don't act like that. The other thing that you shouldn't do at park close is wait until the very last second to get on a ride. And you hear these stories all the time from cast members. You hear people say all the time, this is my very favorite ride. We've come all the way from insert foreign place here, you know, somewhere that is clearly 180 million miles away. And this is the very last day of our vacation. We haven't gotten to do our very favorite ride yet, and you're telling us that we can't get on. At the Jungle Cruise, they stayed open until park closed, and what that meant was You could get into the line up until the clock struck midnight or whatever time the park closed. Park closes at 10. You can still be walking into that queue up until 10 o'clock. And if you were coming and we saw you coming, we would say, come on guys, like hurry up. We're gonna send our last boat. And we would like usher people in. We would never intentionally see you coming down the ramp and say, send it, Skip, and lock the gate. That's not how we operated. And this family came one night. I was at greeter, which at nighttime is a very lonely position because there's not a fast pass return person. There's not a fast pass distribution person when that was a thing. It's just you. You stand out there, you listen to the jungle music, and you kind of just bop around while no one comes down to see you. And so I was out there. It was it was a midnight close, so I was standing there at midnight, and they said, anyone coming, like over the dock radio? And I said no, and they said, okay, close her up. And so at Jungle Cruise we had a little rope. We would click it over, that blocks it off and says Jungle Cruise is closed. And I turned around to like go and start grabbing flip cards and start collecting the stuff that's up there, you know, doing the nighttime close down stuff. And this family comes down the stairs that are right at the magic carpets, kind of between the carpets and the tiki room. There's a set of stairs, and they walked down and they were like, did we miss it? And I said, yeah guys, I'm sorry, we just sent our last boat, because the boat literally was gone, like it had taken off. And they were like, oh no, this is our favorite ride, this is the last day of our vacation, insert story here. And I was like, I'm sorry, like there's no more boats, I'm sorry. And this lady goes, you're telling me that you don't have any boats left? And I was like, no, we actually just sent our last one. It's the last tour of the night. And she goes, I know you have more boats. Can you not go start another one up? Physically, could we? Yes. It is physically possible. Are we gonna? No. So they stood there and they fought with me another second before they finally huffed off. And I'm gonna assume that if the Jungle Cruise really were their favorite attraction, which I cannot understand because I love the Jungle Cruise with everything I've got, but it's not my favorite attraction. If it was, I hope they would have gone to it earlier in their trip. The main point here is don't go to an attraction at the very last second. Like, yes, absolutely utilize your entire day at the park. Please do enjoy, and feel free to go to those attractions up until close. Cast members really, they're gonna be there regardless. The Jungle Cruise boats are gonna go, so whether you get on it or not. So do feel free to use your entire day, but if you miss getting into a ride right at the very end of the day, don't get mad about it. Just be happy that you got to enjoy the day all the way up until then. You got to like close the park down, go to Main Street, that you can still go do some shopping on Main Street, and you can see Main Street and Cinderella's castle all lit up at night. And if you stay long enough, you can get the goodnight kiss, which is kind of the last way of Disney being like, all right, for real, get out, which is still magical. It's a very lovely way of saying please be gone. But just if you want to ride an attraction and it's like very high on your priority list, do it earlier in the day and don't wait until the very last second. So that's it. Those are just a couple of the little Disney don'ts as far as the end of the day kind of stuff. I'm sure there are others. Do you have any stories about being at the parks late at night? Let me know those down below. I always love hearing people's stories about being in kind of an empty park, or what they got to do, what was special about being at the park when there were fewer people late at night. So do always share those stories with me. And if you are interested in me sharing your stories on one of my videos where I tell your stories, go over to the community tab and let me know in a comment there, or just if you're leaving a comment here and you're wanting me to share your story, then you can just say, hey, you can include this. I never want to share someone's story publicly in a video that is not comfortable with it. So just make sure that you let me know if it's something that you are willing for me to share, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, y'all.